Hello. For all 7 of you who've been wondering what's up with the car, I've done a few things to it this year, 2023. And I've been so busy with family and just work that I haven't shown you any of this stuff. And I'm to the point now where there's not a lot left to do. I mean, yeah, we could do body and paint, but that's no fun. I love driving it just like this. It's all brand new, except, it's got the crappy 70s paint job on it. But yeah, let me start in the front, work my way back. Haven't done a lot, but I've done a few things that are pretty cool. Stevie and I actually did this project last week. And what this is a filler panel that goes between the front grille and the radiator support. And I'll give you a little close-up look of this here. It really cleans things up. And we had to do some stuff, or Stevie did some stuff on this to make it fit right, because the fitment wasn't great out of the box. So this is what it normally looks like, and this is what it looks like all cleaned up. What they wanted you to do is move the horns, because the brackets were in the way. Well, Steve and I talked about it. We decided to go ahead and file out some spots for the horn brackets and move them down a little bit. Did that on both sides. There's also a little spot there where we had to file out a little space for the harness that goes to the parking lights in the front. And the bolts up front didn't fit quite right. So I had to elongate those holes. Get some big black fender looking washers. They're not pretty. We need to get some paint on them. But they work. And yeah, so there. This has been sitting on the shelf since last year. I just didn't want to drill any holes in the firewall for the horn brackets, so I just kind of put it away and aside, and finally just went for it and did this modification here, and I'm glad we did. I like the look. We've replaced the brake booster and master and prop valve. This is a Chevy style. And yeah, the wires look like hell back there. Lost my neutral safety switch. Had to kind of build a little temporary harness to make it work. And I've got this GM wire cover here, which is sacrilege to put on a Ford, but I might do it just to clean that up. Anyway, maybe I'll get on that later. It works really well. What happened was the prop valve that we had on here started leaking while my brother was here and he was working on his car. So we had this on the shelf for his car and just put it on this one, and it works great. So this with the disc brake setup, that, and what we also did was we adjusted the booster properly. We hadn't done it on the last setup that was in here, the lead setup, which had a Ford Master on it, but the booster was the same. The pedal was low and hard, but with this really cool tool, which looks like this, you can properly adjust your booster in your master, and everything feels real good. So that's done. My dad bought this car when I was 7 years old, and one thing it didn't have, and it drove me nuts, didn't have a headliner in it. And this is kind of what it looked like for a long time. And to put a new headliner in it, you have to take out the front windshield and the rear windshield. I didn't want to do any of that. So I bought this cool Mustangs to Fear one-piece headliner, and it's actually a 5-piece headliner. It's not a 1-piece at all, but you don't need to remove windshields to put it in. And I got the cool trick one with the 67, 68 style overhead console, which is really neat. I paid way too much money for it. I paid more for this headliner than I think I paid for any 1-piece in this car. But it's cool. I had to go ahead and do it. So you actually get A-pillar covers with these. I don't know if you can see that or not, but these are A-pillar covers, and there are sail pillar covers too that go down there, and the headliner just goes under the weather stripping. Now the weather stripping in the back is old, and it was a real pain in the ass to put it in, but the weather stripping in the front is brand new because I also put in a brand new windshield this year. Forgot about that before we even looked at the headliner, but yeah. The old windshield was terrible. Visibility was awful. This windshield, look, the tint is there. That's factory tint. And while we're in here, if I come out here, See if you can see it. Maybe not. Anyway, it says Ford there. Might have to just take my word for it, but it does say Ford there. Anyway, back to this headliner. Yeah, it has dome lights in it. As you can see, I don't have those wired yet, but I really don't care. I didn't need dome lights. They're just part of the console. These are the original sun visors that Dad ran. There's nothing wrong with them. Still running them. We also put coat hooks in there. My brother did that. He's really good at that stuff. He really took his time on this. He did a good job putting it in. It was a struggle, but we got it in, and it's all sound deadened. I've also got some carpet padding on top of the sound deadening. It's a very different experience driving around in this thing with the sound deadening and the headliner. And yeah, I'm glad we did it. There's always been problems with the back of this car. The valance is all bent up, and the tail panel where the taillights are caved in where the gas cap is. And that's partly because there was an accident back here. I pushed one of the bumper brackets in. Bumper was bent, just an absolute mess. Now, it's not perfect, but I wanted to make it look better than it did. So I did this. Painted the tail panel, put a brand new rear valance on it. Painted that. Is it perfect? No, but it's better. Also, found a used bumper that was straighter than what I had and put it on the car. It's not new. It's not perfect. It's not perfect fitment, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was. And I'm not using those little, I don't know what you call them, bumper fangs, whatever they are. The ornamental bumper things that go straight down. So there's a hole in the valance. So I went ahead and I went to the hardware store. I got these little chrome, I guess they're, I don't know, bolts of some kind. Stuck them in there. Had to grind them a little bit to make them fit. But put those in there to kind of clean it up. And I'm real happy with the way it looks. I was always kind of embarrassed about what the rear of the car looked. I'm not anymore. So that's it. That's what we did to the car this year. And when I turned the camera on, I thought, well, I haven't done a lot. But once I walked around the car, you know what? I've done quite a bit. We've done quite a bit. Between my brother and Stevie and Eris and myself. Yeah, we didn't do the windshield. Hired that done. So took that in, had somebody else handle it for us. I wasn't going to do that. But everything else we did. And I could have done it without any of them. So, yeah, I think it's just time to enjoy it now. There's nothing else to do that I can think of except drive it. So, anyway, that's the update. Stay tuned. We'll maybe do some more videos later if you want them. If you want to see more in any of these projects, let me know. I'll do my best. Thanks a lot.